Hey guys, before we get the video started, I want to thank my
father,
Evan Productions for making the art in today's thumbnail for the video. If you guys like the art that you see in the thumbnail, I'll put a link in the description to all his socials. And thank you again, Father, for your glorious gift.
It's a motherfucking
What's up guys? Another video, another review. And I've been kind of gone for a while. It's been 9 days as of recording this video since I've uploaded, and the last video was the Mixed Mayfeld video. And today we're taking a look at a Star Wars Lego set, specifically the Republic Fighter Tank, or is known as the Lean Team, or as the Lean Trooper Battle Pack, whatever you want to call it. And the reason why I've been gone before we get into this set is because A, I'm a college student and finals are happening around this time, so I've been very busy with schoolwork. B, I've had another video in the works. It was going to be a model kit video actually, but something fucked up during filming and the model kit was already built, so I couldn't just, unbuild the model. I mean, I could have taken apart the model kit, but that would be a lot of unnecessary effort. And also, it's a model kit that kind of has like a twin or like a partner that I already built, so it would have been weird just to do a review on this model kit alone. But with that out of the way, excuses out of the way, this is the Republic Fighter Tank, and let's get into it. And looking at the box, everything included, we get the tank, we get the Lean Boys, we get Mace Windu, and 2 battle droids, a solid lineup of minifigures for this set with a questionable build. I know that this set is quite controversial due to the tank's design, but we'll get into that later. So let's get into the build process of this set. Before we even go over the build process of the tank itself, I want to go over the minifigures included. And here we have the battle droids, just your standard run-of-the-mill Lego battle droids, no fancy prints or anything, just, your regular old battle droids. And then our next minifigure is the leader of Lean Team himself, Mace Windu. Now, I have to be honest, I've never owned a Lego Mace Windu before, and I know that a lot of people are praising this set for having the best Mace Windu print out there, and I do have to say I really do like this print. I am a fan of Clone Wars Mace Windu with wearing like the clone armor. That is my favorite iteration of Mace Windu we do have, so I can say I really do like this print. I think they executed it really well with the clone armor, and I also really like the new lightsaber that they're doing, where it's more of a solid color than the transparent color. Not saying that the transparent one was bad, I'm just saying I do really like this new take on the lightsaber that Lego is going for. And overall, I do have to say that this is a solid print and a very nice minifigure nonetheless. Finally, getting into the Lean Boys themselves, these guys actually have an interesting history. So back in 2007, Hasbro needed to give Mace Windu some clones because they wanted to do a 4-figure pack with some clones and Mace Windu, but Mace Windu did not have a legion or a battalion at that point, so Hasbro needed to make some up. So they came up with the number 187, made some purple clones, put them in the box, and sold it, and people ate that shit up. They were like, Mace Windu finally has a battalion, and everyone was very happy about that. Everyone thought it was cool. But unfortunately, since then, that has been made Legends, and making this set a Legends Lego set. We haven't seen the 187th since, I think. I don't recall any other iterations or pieces of Star Wars media having the 187th in them. So it's been a while, and I think Lego did a very good, faithful recreation of the 187th. As you can see on their chest, they have the pauldron just like the figures do, but they do not have the antennas. But I'm not going to bitch because I'm happy that these guys are back regardless, whether they're still Legends or not. But I think Lego did a really good, faithful print to these boys, and I'm overall satisfied with how they came out. And the final member of the Lean Team, the 187th Commander. Funny enough, this guy doesn't have a name. He's not an established commander. There's nothing on him. Essentially, they just needed a commander for variety's sake, and they're like, how do we know who the commander is? What do we do? And they're like, just make it a clone variant. So everyone's like, oh, he's different, he must be in charge. And that's what they rolled with, and here we are. I am happy it is a clone paratrooper. That is my second favorite clone variant. I think they're very cool, just aesthetically pleasing. And Yeah, like, and because this guy is a commander, people are gonna be like, oh, you can't army build them. Well, it's not like it's Rex where there's only one Rex. Look at the 212th, they had a bunch of paratroopers. So who's to say the 187th didn't have a bunch of paratroopers? So you can army build this guy if you really, really wanted to. But going into the minifigure itself, I think it is a faithful reprint of a paratrooper. It's got all the straps, it's got the comma, it's got the pauldron, it's got everything a paratrooper would usually come with. Unfortunately, it is all print though. I kind of do wish that they came with a cloth. I know if you go with like Bricklink or some other third-party site, you could probably get a pauldron and a comma for your boy, but obviously for this review I'm not going to make any additions while reviewing it because I want you to see the product at face value. But I'm ranting, so faithful reprint. I think it's really well done, and happy to see a paratrooper in a Lego set. I just really like paratroopers. Before you even start putting pieces together, there are 3 big bags. 2 of them are actually 1 bags, and then there's 1 2 bag, and of course there are smaller bags within the big bags. This set comes at 262 pieces with only 80 steps in the instructions. So the instructions, that's about, you know, fairly average for like a medium-sized set, but with 262 pieces, this is a very small set. So actually building the set, it is a fairly quick build. It took me not 2 hours, about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, because I had to stop to check the camera to make sure the filming process was going over well. And, you know, without stopping like how I did, you could probably get this set done in an hour, maybe less if you're a really quick builder. This set is very repetitive. It is a symmetrical, you know, vehicle, so the build process is going to be build this one side, then do it again, but for the left, if you know what I'm trying to say. So it's a very repetitive, quick build. So if you do one step, you're going to repeat it again, and because you already know, you're going to do it quicker. Stickers. This is a very sticker heavy set. It has 11 stickers, and they're not very small stickers, so they're not, you don't have to be super careful. I mean, you always have to be careful with your stickers because you want them to look good, but they're more on the bigger side, so they're easier to apply. So here we are, the set is built, everything is put together, all the stickers are on, the set is looking quite questionable. I know this design is quite controversial because it looks really funky, but let's be real, we all bought this set for the minifigures. But going back to design, one thing that the community is really pointing out is that this design for the tank is actually a mashup of 2 variants of it. It is a mashup between the TX-130T fighter tank, which is from the original 2 Battlefronts way back when, and a mixture of the TX-130 Saber class fighter tank, which is the TX-130 we see in the new Battlefront game, EA's Battlefront. And honestly, I see it with the front, with those stickers with the bolts. That's more of the TX-130T, where everything else is the slickness, like the flatness, the slickness of it, is all the Saber class variant. And honestly, the design is kind of growing on me. The more I look at the nose, the more it's the nose area. Like the top is fine and everything. It's just that nose area that just sticks out like a sore thumb. And that's, yeah. So looking at the base of this tank, I actually don't mind it. I think it looks really good. Even though both variants are different in their own ways, this set does a very good job at kind of combining both versions without compromising the design, unlike the top area of this set. And I have a lot to say about that. As we go up, obviously we get to the funky area of the tank, and the part of the tank not many people do like, and I think there's a reason why, besides, you know, the clashing of 2 different designs. I think it all starts in the nose, because if you look at the original design of the TX-130, its nose is like a ramp that just goes down, and it might round off, not even round off, square off at the end, where on the Lego set it's a tiny little ramp, and then it has this big round off, which is just kind of different and weird looking for the TX-130. And the reason why in the Lego set it does that little ramp off and then the huge round off at the end is because the nose is the cockpit, whereas in the games and whatnot that is not the case. And because that is not the case, the noses are all able to just ramp down, but because the nose in the Lego set is the cockpit, you need to fit a minifigure there, so they needed to make it bigger and just more awkward looking, because the slits on the tank that implies that there's troopers looking at them, but in this case, these slits are completely cosmetic. There is no utility. There is no way you can get a trooper to look out those slits because they're just dark, transparent pieces. So Lego kind of compromised the design and how the tank actually works for playability. And now I'm not saying that toy companies or Lego are Satan for doing that. It happens all the time. I'm just saying this is a case where it just ended up not ending well for the design, because like I said, there's a handful of people, more than a handful of people, that believe that this design is very funky and weird looking because of the compromise of design for playability. So that is my whole theory and explanation on why the tank looks funky. And yeah, so going into features included in the set, starting with the top hatch, when we open that up, we do see that there is enough space for one minifigure and a control panel in there for just aesthetics. Then getting into the back hatch, when we open it up, we can see that there isn't too much space in the tank, so the back hatch is there for playability and design rather than practicality. And as we've already discussed, the nose area acts as a cockpit, and the interior design for that cockpit area isn't too crazy. It's just a tan floor with a brown backrest. And one thing that caught my attention while building this set is how the cockpit swings open and closed. They're not battle droid arms, but it's like these two arm-shaped pieces that just swing open the door, and if you just extend them the right way, the door can go over the eye ports of the tank, and there is a tiny slit where you can kind of see inside the tank, which is a little distracting. And then getting into the cannons, they can swivel up and down, but the munition does limit their range of motion. So if we do fire the munitions from the cannon should have more range of motion, which is always good. I'm probably going to display my tank without the munitions because I think the munitions are distracting. And in order to load the munitions, it's just the same way as any other cannon from any other Lego Star Wars set. And then getting into the bottom of the tank, there are just 4 wheels for rolling on flat, hard surfaces. So if you do have a carpet, this tank is not going very far. But if you do have a flat, hard surface, you will be able to just wheel your tank around, push it wherever you want. Just don't break it. And now we are at the turntable showcase segment of the video. I know when I was going over the design and the nose of the tank, that probably should have been the showcase segment of the video, but here we are for part 2, if you will. So basically what this segment is, if you don't know, I basically show you the product on the turntable so you get a good nice look at it without me manhandling it, while I just go over my thoughts, pros, cons, and all that. So going over cons first, because I like to get that sour stuff out of the way. The first con that comes to mind is the interior space, or the lack of there being. The only space for minifigures inside this tank is in the hatch and in the cockpit area of the tank. The back hatch, it seems like that it's made to have troops exit the tank, but there is that area of the tank, there's no space for even one minifigure unless you stuff that minifigure in the tank. So I just feel like that, I wouldn't call it false advertising, but it's just, I feel lied to. Then the only other con that I can really think of that's not really a con because it's more of a subjective thing is the design of the nose/head area of the tank. Now, like I said before, not many people are actually liking this design, but I am pretty sure there are people out there who do like the design of the nose head area. Therefore, it might be a pro for someone else, but personally me, I don't think it's a pro. Don't get me wrong, I think this design does have some kind of charm. It does get the point across that this is a TX-130 fighter tank, whether it's the Saber class or the T variant. It very much well does execute that design. It's just I'm not personally a big fan of it, though I can recognize its charm, like I said. So I don't know if this is even considered a con because this is more of a subjective thing, but I'm just gonna put that note out there that the design is very much a make or break for people. But let's be all real, we're all buying this set for the minifigures. So going into the pros of this set, there's a lot of playability and accessories. There's the doors, the hatches, the cannons. If you're really into that, there's a lot of that seen in this set. Another pro I can think of are the minifigures included in this set. We get 6 solid minifigures. We get 3 clones from a Legion that we haven't seen before. We get a new Mace Windu print that a lot of people are liking, and 2 battle droids for army building. Granted, if you buy a bunch of these sets, you can army build the 187th very quickly. You'll have a lot of Mace Windus, but you will be able to army build droids and the 187th fairly quickly because we get 3 187th troopers. So really, there's only one definite con, which is with the interior space of the set. The design is more subjective, and then pros, you get a good selection of minifigures and a lot of features and playability with this set. And for no specific reason, we're gonna do some size comparisons because it's always fun to scale your toys. And starting off with another tank, the Lego AAT, and we have the modified ATRT and Bark Speeder from the 501st Battle Pack. Then we have Bandai's 1/12th Stormtrooper model kit. Then we have Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series Boss. Here we have a toy version of the Republic Fighter tank, and this is based off the 2005 version of Battlefront 2, obviously because this tank was released in 2014 before EA's Battlefront 2, so this is based off the TX-130T variant, and I thought this was a fun scale comparison I could throw into the video. And here is a family portrait shot of the set while we do the outro of the video. This video hopefully didn't feel too repetitive with the kind of 2 turntable segments of the video. I know there was a lot to go over because this is a kind of controversial set amongst the Star Wars community because of its design and the minifigure selection. So hopefully the video didn't feel too burnt out or repetitive. But overall, I do hope you guys enjoyed this review, and if you did, a like and a subscription would be more than appreciated. I'm not going to make you comment because that's a lot of effort, and we're not even going to talk about the bell because we both know that shit is broken. So anyways, if you enjoyed, do those 2 things. If you don't think I'm worthy of it, by all means, I get it. All I care about are the views. That's not true. That makes me sound like a scumbag. But anyways, if you did like the video, showing me that you did in any ways would be appreciated, and I'll see you all in another one.